Oh, how unusual. Bitcoin has made a new high, or is looking a little higher. Oh, oh, what do we do now? What do we do now? Oh my God, what do we do? Hmm. Hey, this is Mark Shepard, and today is the Morning Cryptos. And it's day 93 of my 90-day challenge. And I'm just going to keep going, people, because this is fascinating. Let's figure out what the hell is going on with Bitcoin and the rest of the cryptos. But first, I want you to hear some really good music. Go! So I did a lot of research last night. I stayed up really late. I was watching this this interview. Notice it's an hour and 56 minutes long, people. Now, I don't know if you have that kind of time to sit around. I don't, but last night I couldn't sleep, so I get excited by stuff. I'm doing all this new breathing techniques, and it's like the breathing stuff expands my energy. So I think I'm needing less sleep. But anyway, that's aside from the point. The point is, this guy Richard Hart knows what the fuck he's talking about. He really knows his shit, and he's really interesting to listen to when he talks about the real key issues around Bitcoin and why Bitcoin continues to go up while these hard forks just kind of are muddying the ground, and they're going to go down. And I felt that way for a while, but he's so freaking articulate. So I highly recommend you watch this, or I'll do my best to summarize it as I go through the cryptos, okay? So I'm hoping to save you some time. So BitcoinCash, it has a little boost here, but in his opinion, it's a pump and dump. It's like this thing is just going to keep going down, right? And I just felt like, why would I buy Bitcoin Cash, particularly as it has just continued grinding down? And I don't particularly see any reason to buy it, right? Now, if you have Bitcoin and there's a hard fork and you get the tokens of the new coin, what's really going to happen, the process is as soon as you get it, you are going to dump it, right? And it's going to be interesting because Coinbase has said that they will give everybody their Bitcoin Cash, right? But they're not going to give it to everybody till January. And so when January comes and all the people on Coinbase, which is the largest holder of Bitcoin in the world, and all those people basically dump their Bitcoin Cash and swap it back into Bitcoin, this thing is gone. It's history. So really the question in my mind is, when Bitcoin makes a hard fork in November, the SegWit2x hard fork, which I also think is going to fail, and at the moment there's no replay protection on it, which basically kind of means it's a contentious hard fork because somehow the SegWit2x people think that they can get all the people who own Bitcoin to think that SegWit2x is the real Bitcoin, the one and only true Bitcoin. And that's just not going to happen because the coin that gives you the dividends, right? The coin that gives you the extra coins is always going to be the one, right? So Bitcoin Legacy, the original Bitcoin, the one with all the branding, the one with all the awareness, the one that everybody talks about, is still this one, Bitcoin. It's not going to be Bitcoin SegWit2x. It's not going to be Bitcoin Cash. It's not going to be Bitcoin Gold. It's not going to be Bitcoin Platinum or Silver or Bronze or Wood or Dirt. It's not going to be Bitcoin Elbow. It's not going to be Bitcoin whatever. It's going to be freaking Bitcoin, right? And the reality is, according to Richard Hart, and he makes a really good statement for it, even though Bitcoin has slow transaction times, the market doesn't care. Even though Bitcoin has higher transaction fees than it used to, the market doesn't care. Why doesn't the market care? Because it's the only place in the world where you can put your money and have it continue to increase in value. It's the only place. The altcoins aren't doing it right now. Maybe they will at some point. But right now, the only game in town, better than gold, is called Bitcoin. And when you buy Bitcoin, and the reason it's going up now is because it is clear there is nothing else that has gone up like this. Look at this, right? Look at this trend, right? Plus you have this beautiful volatility here from, back, the Chinese ICOs literally banned in China, and then the Jamie Dimon effect, right? And Bitcoin just keeps coming, right? It may have significant retracements, but look at the retracement. This big retracement here basically touched its previous resistance, so it became support. Here's the most recent resistance, 49.49, right? That's, if it goes back at any point, it'll come back here, which is still pretty damn good, right? So after listening to a number of Richard Hart's very long interviews with people, the guy has a point. And the point, and I watched somebody else, Crypto Investor, who I really encourage you to check out as well. Crypto Investors, he's like the opposite to me. He's so, I don't know if it's left or right brain, but he's so analytical and logical. He's like Dr. Spock, and I love him because I'm an artist. I'm emotional. Right? He's like, and he's like, I don't understand Bitcoin right now, right? Because it's not logical right now. The fact that he said it's not logical is a real key here, people. Pay attention. This is important. There's a lot I don't know about cryptos, but I do know the human mind, right? And the human mind is not fucking logical. It's not logical. The unconscious mind of a human being, which is where all the action is, deals in plausibilities, right? And it is an animal. It is not logical. It doesn't make logical decisions. However, the market is not dumb. This is such a simple thing. Particularly the computer tech guys get tangled up in this. Well, and I was getting tangled up in this. Well, why is Bitcoin going up? It doesn't work very well. It's not useful. You can't really use it as money. All these things. But that's why it's going up. Is because people don't want to use it as money. They want to have a place where they can save their money. That's why I started doing cryptos. It's because I could not save money any other way. Anytime money goes into my bank account, there's something that I have to buy with it. It's like the weirdest freaking thing. But cryptos, particularly Bitcoin, I don't want to spend it because if I spend $20 of Bitcoin today, next week, that $20 would have been 40 if I just held it, right? So that's really the shift that's happening is like, what if this thing really does go to 10,000, right? What if it goes to 10,000 and you're on the sidelines because you didn't understand it, right? And that's the question. That's why I'm back to buying $20 a day, right? And I'm less and less intrigued with all the altcoins. I'm not dumping my positions there, but I'm also like going, there's a lot of money to be made in Bitcoin if you're long, right? The people who are shorting Bitcoin, and Richard Hart talked about this in his program that I watched last night. The people who are shorting Bitcoin are losing their shirts. And he told a story of a guy who had a huge margin call. He lost $50 million because he shorted Bitcoin, right? Because if you look at it and you look at the past, you go, well, it goes up and then it goes down, right? It goes up and then it goes down. There's always these pretty major retracements. But if you look at it, they're really not that major, right? If you look at it, it is such a clear trend up. And is it sustainable? It's only sustainable, and this is where it does resemble a Ponzi scheme. It's sustainable as more and more money comes into the market, right? However, unlike a Ponzi scheme, Bitcoin will be here tomorrow. And this Bitcoin, whether it sheds hard forks or not, it is not affected. Those are attacks. And according to Richard Hart, the people, the devs, the developers working on Bitcoin, the ones who have worked on it for a long time, are not impressed by just trying to change it, right? There's reasons they don't want the block size to be larger, right? They have really good reasons for doing what they've been doing, and they're really good at what they do, and they're not going to allow the hard forks to destroy Bitcoin. That's at least hopefully. There's a lot of uncertainty in the market about what's going to happen with the SegWit 2x thing. But I think what's going to happen, and this is, I just got this from Richard Hart, this is not any original thought on my part, but what he said makes so much sense, that as SegWit 2x approaches, they will put in the replay protection. Because if they don't put in the replay protection, the rest of the market, the developers of Bitcoin will take them down. They have the ability to do that, right? But if they put in the replay protection so that they're distinctly an altcoin and they're not contending for the one true Bitcoin spot, then they'll let it happen. And then everybody gets their free coins, and then everybody sells their SegWit 2x coins, and SegWit 2x begins its slow decline, just like BitcoinCash, right? And Bitcoin Gold is like, it's still just a future. They never even made a coin, right? So, but the thing is, Bitcoin gets the news, right? Think of Bitcoin as Kim Kardashian, if you want to. Think of Bitcoin as Donald Trump, if you want to. And the reason I use that as an example is that both the Kardashians and Donald Trump know how to get publicity, right? They know how to stay in front of people's minds. And I've admired the Kardashians for years because they have absolutely nothing. They're vapid. They're shallow husks of people, right? There's nothing going on there except they're good at keeping people's attention. And people, we are in the age of attention. This is the age of fucking attention. He who has the attention has the power. Who has the attention in the crypto space? It's not Ethereum. It ain't Litecoin. It ain't Dash. It ain't Monero. It's Bitcoin. Bitcoin has the attention of the world. It has the attention of the media. And the media is bringing it to the attention of millions upon millions of people. Oh my God, Bitcoin's going up. Oh my God, I got to get in. I got to get some of that. I got to get some, right? This is FOMO on a scale that no one, I think, has ever seen. And how is it like the tulip bubble? Well, it's like the tulip bubble in that everybody wants to get in on it. However, it's not just frickin' Holland, right? In the 1600s or 1700s or whenever the hell the tulip bubble was. It's a tulip bubble in the age of the internet. And it's just getting started, people. Will it eventually crash? Probably. At some point, it will have a serious correction. I don't think that's today. I don't think it's today. So the question is, at the very least, people want to buy Bitcoin so that they at least get a chance for some free money when SegWit 2 happens. However, I don't know if you remember when Bitcoin first came out, everybody's giving it away. You know, Roger Ver and Anton Antonopoulos were going around giving people a little Bitcoin, right? And if they had the Bitcoin today that they gave out, they would be even richer than they are. However, if they hadn't given that out for free, there would be no adoption at all, right? So there's a certain point where the free money can prime the pump, but then there's a certain point where the free money also becomes a pump and dump, right? So those are my thoughts today. Boy, I saved that up for you guys. I had me some thoughts this morning. That's what I've been thinking about. So, yeah, so anyway, let's quick check the Bitcoin price. Making noise, Bitcoin price looks higher as global volumes grow. What did I just say? Bitcoin price smashes through 6,300 to hit another record high. What if Satoshi Nakamoto sold all his Bitcoin today? And I will let you guys check out those articles because Satoshi Nakamoto is not selling his 50 million gazillion Bitcoin today. He's not. He might not even be alive. But it would be really nice. It would be really nice if he showed up and helped guide the ship a little. But at the same point, Richard Hart made a really good point that when cryptocurrencies come onto the map, the radar of governments, really, you really want a currency exactly like Bitcoin that is decentralized, where they can't really go after any one person or any one group. Hold a gun to their head and say, do what we tell you to do. Bitcoin. And that's the point Richard Hart made that just drove it home to me. No other coin, no other money, no other currency in the world has what Bitcoin has. And as contentious as this decentralized thing is, where people are arguing with each other and creating these hard forks, it actually seems to be making Bitcoin stronger. Plus, it's getting the attention of the media. Day in and day out, every day that Bitcoin makes a new high, there are headlines. Every day that Bitcoin has a correction, there are headlines. Every day that a hard fork happens, there are corrections. And people are learning, what do I do? How do I get this extra money? And it's forcing people to learn something that they wouldn't normally learn, because you can't get into this space without learning something. We are not yet at the time where we are with light switches, where you can just turn on a light with a switch. I don't know how that light works, right? I mean, I do because I've studied it, but most people, they just turn on a light switch. They don't think about it. In the crypto land, in the crypto world, in the crypto zone, in the crypto ecology, ecosystem, you have to learn, right? It's like a forest. You just don't go into a forest without learning about what's going on in the forest, right? You know what I mean? You don't go into New York City without knowing how to cross the street. You got to learn a few things. There are some things you need to survive in this environment. And so it's causing people to have to learn. They have to, well, where do I get it? Okay, and once you get it, okay, I'm on Coinbase. Well, what do I do now? Well, if you want your hard fork money, you got to have it on an exchange, or you got to have it in this wallet or that wallet. You know what I mean? There's several steps that have to happen for people to even buy this. So on that level, it's good. So anyway, those are my thoughts. Let's. I think I've said what I needed to say, and I hope I articulated it and saved you an hour or 2 hours of watching Richard Hart. But if you can get a chance, just you could skip through what the other guy said in the interview, because the other guy was not articulate at all, and Richard Hart just literally nailed him to the wall in a kind way. He wasn't mean or anything, but his intellect is so sharp that for me, it's like watching a great musician play. It's like watching him talk is worth it. It's just worth it. And you will learn a lot, And it's the stuff that has context, it has depth, it has breadth, it has intelligence that's so deep, it's just awe-inspiring. So anyway, that's my big thing. Let's just see what's going on here. Bitcoin is obviously doing what it does. And it's on the 1 hour chart, we have a little consolidation here, and it's moving up. And the bottom line is it's going to consolidate or move up at this point. There's no reason for it to do anything other than increase in value as more people come in. So this is not a sell signal unless you have a ton of it and you want to take some profits and diversify a little bit. But otherwise, right now it's like, oh shit, I don't have much Bitcoin because I keep selling it because I know it's coming back. Well, it hasn't come back, right? And all of us can be wrong, except there's one thing that can't be wrong, and that's the market. And Bitcoin is doing what Bitcoin does because millions upon millions of people are going, I want me some of that. I want me some of that. And the more they go, I want me some of that, and they start getting some of that, they all want it to go up. Everybody wants it to go up, right? That's the major thing. And the people that are shorting are kind of shit out of luck right now, right? And it's a good thing it's not easy to short Bitcoin. You have to kind of know what you're doing, and I think that's probably a good thing. So anyway, let's go back to the one-day chart. And let's grind down Dash. Boom. Kind of just holding, staying in its place. And I still think Dash is going to 420 at some point. But something else has to happen. Now, EOS is interesting because the volume of EOS is way up. And it has moved, right? So that's interesting. But I'm going to want to see it do something more before I stop just looking at it. Because I think right now I'm keeping an eye on it. Ethereum, and again, I don't understand why Ethereum isn't 1,000. But it is tentatively trying to work its way up a little bit here. Let's look at the 1 hour chart. Yeah, we're having a lot of sideways action with Ethereum and then a little boost up that just literally goes back to where it was and then more sideways action. So I still think Ethereum is looking poppable. I mean, look at that. This is significant kind of tops here, double tops. And it's really kind of working its way into a sideways range. Yeah, I think Ethereum's looking good. But then again, that's just me looking at the chart, right? And I have been doing a lot. I've been watching a lot of interviews with Vitalik Buterin. So like I'm deep into Richard Hart this week and Vitalik Buterin and listening to these people. The problem with Ethereum is Vitalik Buterin, right? He's awesome, and if the government wanted to take down Ethereum, there's a guy they can point a gun at called Vitalik Buterin, right? He's brilliant, and Ethereum is useful, and it's getting better, and that's coming at the cost of centralization, right? And so it could be vulnerable. But that's thoughts that I'm thinking because of the conversations with Richard Hart. So interesting guy. I think you guys should check him out. But then again, I'm doing the research and I'll share it with you guys if you don't have the time to invest in that. But don't take my word for it, right? Don't take anybody's word for it. An IOTA, okay, just kind of still doing the same thing, and it's not ready yet anyway. So let's look at Litecoin. Come on. And again, higher bottoms, but it somehow managed to keep going up without going up. How does it keep going up without going up? Right? And if you look at the long-term trend, not much has changed. It's just continuing to rise, but it's doing it in as a non-rising way as possible. It's like, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. And again, all the action today is that Mama Papa Bitcoin, Neo. Neo is interesting in that it's really kind of, the more I learn about it, it's kind of the Chinese Ethereum. And it's kind of tricky if China has banned ICOs, and ICOs are built on these kinds of platforms, then Neo is in China. So it's interesting what's going on with that. So we'll see. Omise Go, still chugging along down there. Monero, still chugging along. So the altcoins are kind of stuck. I thought they were breaking out last week. I got all excited, but what's Civic doing? We got a little boost in Civic against Bitcoin, no less. So that's interesting. Let's see what it's looking like against Ethereum. It's boosting even more against Ethereum. So that's interesting. Got me some. Omise Go against Bitcoin, still down there. Omise Go against US dollar Tether, just sitting there. Okay, good. And Quantum. And while we're on the topic of Quantum, there is still no support in the Exodus wallet for the Quantum Ignition tokens. And I Googled it. And if you go to Exodus, support.exodus.io, article 96-Exodus wallet roadmap. Just type in Exodus wallet roadmap in Google. That'll get you there. It shows you what assets are supported. And, oh wow, they support BitcoinCash. Interesting. As of October 12th. Interesting. Okay. And the future development, Quantum mainnet is planned, right? That's all the information they have. So wherever you have your Quantum, for the moment, you have to either keep it there or you have to go to Quantum's website and download their wallet. And I have not yet done that. I need to get some kind of a screen for my Raspberry Pi, and I promise you, I will be staking my Quantum soon. I've just been so busy doing other stuff. So anyway, I wanted to bring you up to date with that. And with that said, this is the Morning Cryptos. And I've walked you through pretty much the stuff that I'm looking at. And there's plenty of other stuff. You can go to World Coin Index and you can see the action. But today, I'm kind of feeling, and I felt this from the beginning, that why would I ever want BitcoinCash? I can't really, I didn't get any from that hard fork back in July, early August, because I didn't understand getting the extra tokens. But you know what? It really doesn't even matter. But there's no reason to buy it. The only reason to deal with BitcoinCash is if you have some and you want to get rid of it, the price keeps going down, right? So at one point we had quite a lot of volume with BitcoinCash, but it's, today would be a good day to sell it. If you have BitcoinCash, if it were me, if I had it, I would, and knowing hearing what I've heard about how it's just going to go in the shitter, I'd be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to get me out of this into something that seems to be going up relentlessly. Oh, what would that be? That would be Bitcoin. And if you sell your BitcoinCash to get Bitcoin, then the Segwit 2X comes, you get yourself even more, and then get rid of that shit, turn that back into Bitcoin. You see what I mean? It could be good. So Richard Hart was like, yeah, let's keep all these forks happening. I'll get the free money. Give me the free money. But in the meantime, Bitcoin, the one and true Bitcoin, keeps going up. All right, so that's it for today. People, I love you. I can't wait to wake up in the morning to do this. And I hope you appreciate it. And if you do, great. Please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. If you don't, that's okay too. Thanks for at least giving me a shot. And please leave a comment below. I live for your comments. And I really appreciate you guys so much. And I love this. This is, to me, the most fascinating window to look into or out of every day. I don't know if I'm looking into a world or looking out of my world. I don't know. But it's a window into a revolution of thought that is revealing who we are as human beings in ways that I find fascinating. So, have a great day. Why does it work out better than you could possibly imagine? And I think it's time to start the music. Do-do-do. Boop. Thanks.